Well, that's the BallStreet. It's the social club. I'm joined here by Jim Daly from the 5-Year Plan, Palace Fan TV, and various articles around the web as well.
Whatever I can get my face on.
Exactly.
That sounds weird.
It does. Slightly weird. It's slightly less weird if you were here for the first take of this. Anyway, Peter McPartland from ToffeeTV is with us, so be prepared to engage your caps lock and call him a knobhead or whatever, because that's what happened last week. And making his debut on the show as well, the newest addition to the BallStreet universe. Mr. James Olcott, you like that?
Yeah, happy with that, yeah.
Good, very good indeed. So we'll get stuck in there, and James, I'll start with you. It was another mental weekend of Premier League action. We were discussing this, we were doing the Bet Victor Weekender show last week about how none of the top six were playing each other. We wondered whether there'd be any shocks, and my word, there was a shock or two.
Yeah, and we had Rowan on, and we basically told Rowan Ricketts to go say, there could be a shock, and he just went the other way around.
He wanted all the small teams to get annihilated.
Yeah, everyone's, all these big teams are going to smash all the little teams, but it obviously didn't work that way. I think that's just an exciting thing about the Premier League this year, that those sort of middle teams are decent. They're really decent now, and so a team like Stoke take on Man City. I mean, the wind helped a bit. When you go to Stoke away, it's always ridiculously windy. Yeah. But they completely deserved it. And won the game, as I say, deservedly. That's just a great thing about the Premier League, isn't it, I think?
Man City or Matt? Go on, Jim.
Has it not got to a point, though, where maybe there aren't any shocks anymore? Like, maybe actually, talking about those middle teams,
shocks can't be shocking if they happen every week.
We're in December now, and we're still talking about everyone beating everyone. So maybe, there aren't any shocks.
But how are we going to title things excitingly if we don't call
fair point.
Yeah. Football was boring and standard again.
Everything that we expected to happen happened. See you next week.
Yeah. But the City one was the maddest one for me. Yeah, because I was looking at it, and they had David Silva was back in the side, so they had De Bruyne, Sterling and Silva available to them. Still no Aguero, but as soon as I saw Silva back in there, I was like, they've got this. And Stoke just figured them out. They played them off the park.
I don't think it's hard to figure City out. I think City are very one-paced. I think if you get in the faces and you don't let them play, I don't think they're that good a team. But if you let them settle and play at that one pace, they're very, very good at it. Yeah. But you watch them sometimes and they can't make that step. And I think a team like Stoke, who will get in your face, I think, look at them. They've got more Champions League winners than anyone. So they're not good old Stoke anymore. And this is where we are, aren't we? With Jim was saying there's no shocks anymore because of all the money being pumped in, and everyone's got money, and everyone's buying decent players, and we're starting to see the consequences of that.
Yeah. Company wasn't playing either. I think that's a huge thing for Man City. When he doesn't play, they seem to struggle defensively. And Stoke are a really decent side. They've got their front sort of four was Afellay. They've got Afellay, Bojan, Shaqiri's great. Arnautovic's having a season of his life so far. And you've got the quality of John Waters to come off the bench as well. I do a podcast called Great Touch for a Big Lad, and on that I had to apologise a couple of weeks ago because John Waters, I've been taking a piss out of him for 10 years. Yeah. But he's a really good pro.
John Walters is, for 90s football fans, he is the modern-day Ian Marshall. He is that particularly for Liverpool.
He could do a job at centre-back as well, actually.
But there's this thing, because
I think he's more of a Paul Warhurst.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So? Paul
Warhurst. Big fan.
The reason I use that is because there's always one player that used to go, ha, ha, oh, we're coming up against him, and you'd laugh, and then you go, I've done it again.
Yeah.
I've said it again. And then lo and behold, you get an Ian Marshall, was that one for Liverpool, if you laughed at, Ian Marshall starting up front for Leicester. Oh, he scored against us again. And Walters has this added uncanny habit of, is he an Evertonian actually? Or is
he is an Evertonian, but due to his political beliefs, I can't stand the man.
Is he a Tory? Is that what you're alluding to?
He did put a tweet out after the last general election, basically giving himself a big pat. It's not the fact that he's a Tory. It's the fact that he was so happy that he'd won, because it was like, ha ha ha, I get to keep all my money. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That was it. It was like, ha ha, I'm not going to be taxed as much. Ha ha, I'm keeping all my money. I thought, you're from Birkenhead, you absolute knobhead.
But I mean, all spot on.
Yeah.
But we digress.
Yeah.
Similarly at the top, I don't know whether, was it a shock that Man United didn't get the win?
I think everyone kind of saw that one coming a little bit. they're so boring to watch. Like I saw the Leicester game the week before. It was awful. I can't.
Van
stress
Gaal
it
as
enough.
well totally trolled his strikers after the game, saying,
Yeah.
well, Aguero and Suarez would score in this team. So if you were like Marshall, Rooney, you'd be like, yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
If
Thanks
my
very much.
strikers were better!
He's always done that though, hasn't he? That everyone seems to hate him who's played for him because he basically challenges all his players to say, if you don't sort it out, then you're out. I'll go and buy someone, and that's his way. And some people don't like it, but I'm sure it does get results in the end.
I think different players need to be dealt with differently. And clearly,
No, he just calls them all.
And occasionally whips his penis out.
Maybe he does this. Maybe he does this at the same time.
Well, yeah, the
Maybe.
full whammy.
Maybe that's how he punishes his players. Maybe that's how they don't like him.
It's an LVG special.
If we weren't digressing on the topic before, that's definitely digressing.
I mean, let's be honest. If you, I know you haven't been on the show, but you clearly haven't watched the show either.
There are moments. It's fine. That's
Finds
cool.
the expression bollocking, doesn't he, Louis Van Gaal in those situations? Yeah, that's as good as that gets. Probably wrap that one up there. Yeah, it's an interesting one. We're obviously going to come on later in the show. We're going to be discussing Newcastle beating Liverpool, which will be fun for me. We've also got how high Leicester can possibly finish as well. But in terms of it just seems like none of the established top teams genuinely either have a grasp on this league or feel like they genuinely want it. I can't, surely City or Arsenal or Man United should be doing.
Well,
should be
I mean,
more.
injuries might play a part. City got a lot of injuries. Arsenal obviously got a lot of injuries, as we say every season.
Never mentioned on this show before either.
So that might play a part as well. But I think it genuinely is just a boosted confidence of those other teams in the league that now feel like they can challenge. And you look at Leicester. Leicester are now leading the way for all those other teams to be like, look, we're in December. They're still top. You can beat these other teams. You can challenge. Yeah. You're not going to lose.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we'll wrap up there. We'll come on to more topics. I think Leicester are the most interesting one of this bunch because it's the only team who look at the minute like they actually want to win the league.
Is that it then? With those other huge teams, they're not. Everyone's. I think those top top 4 teams or whatever, they're all a bit fearful in kind of how they're playing. Just instead of just completely bossing it. Yeah. That's what they kind of should be doing. Yeah, you say that with Arsenal, they lose a couple of players, but they still. The squads are still decent.
But also that fear factor on the other way has dissipated, isn't it?
There's no fear.
Because now you don't go to those teams
anywhere in the league anymore. It's gone.
Yeah.
No one's scared of Man United because of the fear factor. No one's scared of Mourinho because they just look at him and just think he's handled the situation with the physio wrong. And Arsenal are just a wet paper bag, basically, aren't they? You know what I mean? And you look at everyone else and you just think, we beat you on our day. So I suppose that's great for the league. I'm sure Sky are laughing their tits off because haven't lost the Champions League. The Premier League is starting to feel like, this is better now. This is bigger and better. Maybe that was their plan all along. Maybe Murdoch was just sitting there going.
But it's right though, isn't it? All of a sudden, like say that Man City Stoke, which 5, 6, whatever years ago had one of those Monday night football games that you would not pay any attention to, has like you don't want to miss any game that a top team
as opposed to
anymore.
12:45 on a Saturday afternoon, not paying attention to.
Well, that's it. But in terms of all these games now, all of a sudden carry a level of importance that they didn't before because I say anyone can beat anyone. So there you go. Leslie, your thoughts? Who do you think in particular has got the capability to stretch themselves further and to challenge Leicester for the Premier League title? Let us know in the comments below. Still to come, we're talking Liverpool, Newcastle. We'll be talking Leicester's top 4 / title ambitions. We've also got to do the thing that I think a lot of people will be looking forward to is the question about Chelsea and whether they can stay in the Premier League this year, because why not? Do check out the rest of the shows. If you haven't already, subscribe to the BallStreet YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up as well, and we'll see you on the rest of the show.